Hello, everybody. I'm Megan.
And I'm Sarah, and this is
K2K Special
Woo!
Edition
Yes.
Derby style.
What kind of derby, Megan?
The one and only famous, one of the longest lasting sporting events
Hmm.
in the history, actually, of the world is the Kentucky Derby.
Yes. Woo!
Well, we figured, we do a lot of K pop. Our name is K2K. Kentucky to Korea, Korea to Kentucky.
Yes.
So we figured we would stop in our own state here of Kentucky and talk about a big event that's going to happen this weekend.
Right. And it's probably one of the biggest things that we happen to have in Kentucky besides sports games, I guess. I would say
Right.
the Derby brings in the most people internationally to watch it for sure.
100%. This sporting event is going on for 152 years. My hat. Well, it's the Oaks too, so we're going to talk about the Kentucky Oaks, which is for the females, the fillies.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um, so we now know because we looked it up, but we know that the revenue. We thought let's talk about the revenue, a little history on the Derby before we actually get into the race itself of the day. The horses that are in it this year and the Oaks. Let's go with some history. So this race, the horse industry itself in Kentucky is huge. It brings in so much money. Um, we're talking about. I'm gonna read off my notes here.
Yeah.
So we're talking this. The horse industry itself generates billions of dollars to Kentucky, and 6 to 7 billion the impact in Kentucky alone for the horse industry. It also supports tens of thousands of jobs for trainers, jockeys, breeding farms.
Hmm.
So the industry is, the best horses are pretty much bred and raised in Kentucky.
Right. And they sell them, they auction them off. And something you were
Mm-hmm.
showing me before was like, even when you look at the horses, you can tell which ones were sold at Keeneland because they have a special little thing that goes next to the
Little
name.
asterisk, yeah, little horse
Yeah.
asterisk. Everybody kind of knows. Once you kind of see it, you start realizing where that's Keeneland. That's a Keeneland sales grad.
Yeah.
They'll usually say that's a Keeneland sales grad or graduate is what they call it. Um, the biggest one that's usually held here in Kentucky at Keeneland Racecourse, which is just south. So Churchill Downs is where the Derby is held, and that is in Louisville, Kentucky, not Louisville, Louisville.
Yes.
And Keeneland is in Lexington, Kentucky. So Keeneland hosts the Keeneland September yearling sale every year in September, and it generates I almost said the S word, but a ton of money. It generates a lots of money. You have people from all over the world coming to buy
Mhm.
the yearlings that sell here in Kentucky, and that's where a lot of you'll see. I can't remember at least one of the Japanese runners, the Japanese runner, and I think this horse, other one might be owned by someone in the Middle East. I can't remember who it is yet. I have to look, but they are both Kentucky bred horses, but they were bought at a sale here, and they run for those respected countries or whoever owns
Right.
them.
Right.
But most of the time, I think the only horse that isn't super Kentucky bred that was bought here in Kentucky was Wonder Dean, which we all know that the main horse that actually ran a lot of the Triple Crown races. I don't think he won it, but he ran in the Sunday Silence. It was a huge breeding stallion for Japan, and that really rocketed their horses into really nice, really great horses. So everything great comes from.
Kentucky.
Hey, wait. We are beautiful ladies. We're not ugly. Damn. We may have got our first hate comment, and I'm just laughing about it a
Like,
little bit.
yeah, it's
You're not
it's
popular. You're not pretty, and you're loud. Thank you.
I mean, you're not popular until you get a hate comment. So I think technically they achieved it. You know what I mean? They
Hey.
brought it to fruition kind of.
I mean, listen. We get our men. We get. Listen, I had an old man hitting on me today, y'all. I get. I'm pretty enough for an old man to come at me. So sorry, off track, off topic. But so we know that Kentucky is home to many great things, but horse racing is
One of the
the
biggest, if
biggest,
not the biggest,
the
yeah.
biggest. right there with the bourbon industry, which the bourbon industry probably we did this one time before. It also generates as much or way more than the horse industry itself.
Yeah.
I think it was a lot of money. So
But
with
before we get too far in,
yeah.
tell them why you know so much about horse racing if they haven't seen our other
Oh
videos.
yeah. So
Yeah.
little backstory. I've always been living in Kentucky. You always become a horse girl, I guess you could say. We love horses. Growing up, a lot of us. Kentucky is just horses everywhere.
Yeah.
Cattle, horses. We are more country.
Like a
Hee-haw
farming
kind of.
state, kind of, but for animal
Hee-haw.
livestock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. I've always loved horses. I got into horse racing watching the Derby and stuff growing up, and I actually dated somebody on the racetrack, so I got to work a little bit behind the scenes for a little bit. I was very young and immature, by the way, but I worked on the backside of the racetrack. I got to work with some of the horses, some good trainers, a good trainer. Um, and I also got to work a little bit with pedigrees. Sorry, my phone fell. Scared me. A little bit with the pedigree side, which is the horse's mommy, daddy, granddaddy, mommy, grandbaby, and pedigrees.
Right. Yes.
So I got to work a little bit of that with a lovely lady who would make pedigree books for like our clients that had horses going into the sales.
Mm-hmm.
So like, here's a book, here's this baby by this baby, this mommy daddy, so all that good stuff. So I've been around it and I always keep up with it. So I'm always on bloodhorse.com. That's like a big website. That's how I get my racing news. And I've just followed it throughout my whole life. I've actually been to Derby, been to Keeneland. I've been to Saratoga, New York with that racetrack,
Mm-hmm.
and then the fairgrounds in New Orleans. I've been, when I was younger, been to Gulfstream Park. So I've been to several different racetracks over my lifetime.
Yeah.
I'm young. I'm real young.
She is.
And Sarah has, I think, a very funny, unique, like, attachment to horse racing in an odd way. But hers is a little bit different than mine, I think.
Yeah, like yours is a lot more actually involved with it, and mine's
Yeah.
just betting, gambling.
Yes,
My
the money,
dad's
yeah.
side of the family, like I can remember when I was young, my grandpa would have me like run off the horse stats from like the
Yes.
ITVG, IVTG,
TVG.
TVG, yes.
I think TVG is kind of, I think FanDuel is taking over now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I haven't watched it as much anymore. I used to watch TVG all the time. That's where I started it. They changed it since then,
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, we just sit there and I had to run off like every morning and I had to get on there. This is me as like I don't know, an 11, 12-year-old. I had to like get on there, find the race he's talking about, print off papers after papers after papers, and then I'd have to highlight things. And I don't remember what I had to highlight anymore. Like I don't remember, but I used to have to every day. And give him the paper, and then
That's so funny.
like my dad has always bet on horse races. His sister, I think my uncle too. But like it's just always been in that side of my family, my dad's family.
We went to Sarah's birthday recently. Happy
Yeah.
birthday again. And I get there and her dad is watching the races at Keeneland.
Yeah. He's even got a little game app that's like horse racing. Like you raise your own horse, then you enter into like different derbies and racetracks and
That's
stuff.
fun.
And
I get
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
100% get that.
His lifelong dream would be to have a horse he could run at a racetrack, like the Derby or something. Like, I don't know. It's his dream.
Listen, the racetrack life is not for the faint of heart or for everybody, because it's essentially like living a circus life.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Because you don't stay, if you work on the racetrack, like for the barns there, that they travel. They don't stay in one track because tracks all have meets. They only race for so many weeks in like a month or two, and then they're on to the next place, on to the next.
Yeah.
So essentially, most of the time, it's 24/7, 7 days a week almost. It's a industry of love because you have to love what you do to be able to say.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make a lot of money though too in some aspects too.
Yeah.
But it is a labor of love, and it's not for the faint of heart.
I don't doubt it. I can't imagine.
No, it's I did a little hot walk-in, which essentially is cooling the horse off after a workout or a race. Walking them around the shed row, letting them cool down. And these are strong animals. The worst ones to walk were the females.
Oh.
They were scared of everything. A leaf on the ground, terrified, petrified. I'm so scared. Ah, freaks out. You're holding on for dear life. Um, the geldings and the little colts. They
Mhm.
really weren't stallions yet at that point, but the little male horses, the ones that had balls and ones that didn't have balls. We'll
Yeah.
say it like that.
Is that what gelding means?
Yes, gelding means they do not have their balls.
Oh, okay.
They've been gelded.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah, so they don't have so geldings they geld horses that they don't think that they're not gonna breed them anyway, or that sometimes if they are too aggressive, mean,
Mm-hmm.
can't focus, they're just crazy. They'll geld them. They usually geld them only if they really think they'll never breed them or anything.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes some of geldings win though. Geldings are good horses. They can race a long time. They're a little bit more focused.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on what the owner, whoever has it, wants to do. Or
Yeah.
if sometimes this is getting a little too far in, but they call them ridgelings, and there's like one stuck in, one hanging out.
Oh, okay.
So you hope they drop out. So
Mhm.
they it's like anything in life. They
Yeah.
have things that go on, but the racetrack is a very tight knit community. Also, um, it just everybody knows everybody at some point, and so everybody really wants everybody to do well. If you race in the same kind of area, and it's not all, fun and games. There's the dark side to racing, like there is to any sport or anything in life. You've got people that love the horses and will do anything for them, and then you have people that abuse them and treat them badly.
Yeah.
And so, it's a very expensive sport. It's not for the faint of heart. So, it is a beautiful thing. That's what we're talking about. But Sarah, how old's the Derby?
152 years old.
So in 1875, and that's when I say, a little fun thing is that this is older than sliced bread. It's older than cars. It's basically every modern sport we watch. It's older than.
Yeah.
Um,
When did the Civil War end again?
it's with
1865.
it's never. I know it's never this. So the Derby has never stopped. The Oaks have never stopped running through all wars and everything.
Wow.
They've always had it. So it's run every single year through the wars and everything. And what's crazy is actually this was founded, I think it's the Churchill of the Derby itself, was founded by Meriwether Lewis Clark Jr. And that's the family of Lewis and Clark.
Yeah.
So that was kind of crazy. I didn't really remember. The first winner was Aristides, and his statue is still set at Churchill Downs, actually, they made. And the original twin spires that were built in 1895, so it was a little bit after the first Derby, but the original twin spires are still at Churchill Downs today. So it's built up, it's been there forever, and it's just a very ongoing thing, and it's grown over time. And I know that it talks about it, when the first few races were held at, it was a longer race, and they shortened it after so many years. But I think it was only in the first few years it was longer, because horses used to run longer. They've shortened a lot of races now to what they are today. I think a mile what is the Derby, a mile? It's 1 1/8 mile. No, that's the Oaks. I lied to you all. Don't listen to her. She's a loser. The Derby is a 1.5 miles, I think.
I was thinking 1.5 miles.
It's 1 1/4 miles.
1.25 miles.
Yeah, 1.25 miles. They have to use the fancy terms. But Sarah, when you first would hear of the Derby, do you have any horses that come to your mind when you think about the Derby or the Oaks? Honestly, is there any famous horses that you remember hearing about, or your first memories besides with your grandpa? Oh yeah, Secretariat. Yeah.
It's probably the first
Everybody
one that comes
knows
to mind.
Big Red.
Yeah.
So someone who is deep dived as me into horse racing, when I hear Big Red, I also think of Man of War.
Yeah.
We all know that name, and You know, his statue's at the Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington, Kentucky. Um, he was kind of, to me, considered the first Big Red, but also Secretariat, just a beautiful built chestnut horse, you know, the white blaze, and he has a
Yeah.
great story and a beautiful Triple Crown winner, and he still holds the fastest Derby time, I
For
believe.
for
Yeah.
the for those out there, what is a Triple Crown winner? For
Thank you, Sarah. Thanks,
Yep.
Sarah's keeping me on track. Okay, I get real excited, everybody. So, Triple Crown, the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont. So, the Preakness is what they call the second leg.
Mhm.
They're thinking about changing the time period. So, it's always been Derby, 2 weeks later, Preakness, 3 weeks later, the Belmont. They're thinking of spacing out that Preakness a little bit to, like, think at least 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because horses don't run back that fast from a race. But this is what the Triple Crown is, though. It's made uniquely for this purpose. That's why it's so hard to win the Triple Crown. I mean, one of my next horses that historically was my favorite is still one of my favorite horses, American Pharoah.
Yeah.
Who broke the 37 years of no Triple Crown winners. And to this day, when I tell people, like, if they want to see a horse, I think, personally, I'm not an expert. I love the way he moves, the way he runs. He's just so smooth.
Yeah.
And he's smart. He was a smart horse, and he was a good horse. And I always, when I want to, like, show people what I think a good horse looks like when they're moving over the dirt or the grass or whatever, I think dirt, though, for him. He just had such a nice smoothness to him that he just looked so good when he was going.
Yeah.
So American Pharoah is still, like, one of my favorites.
Is he a Kentucky horse too?
Yes, he is by Empire Maker out of Little Princess Emma. He actually, this year, is his first year standing in Japan. So, he has done decent as a stallion. He's not the best stallion, but he's done pretty well. He's actually got a filly in the OAKS that's actually was the favorite, or is the favorite still. So, he's put out some nice horses.
Yeah. And when she says stallion, she means, like, they're at the point where they're, like, breeding.
Yeah, he's in the breeding shed. So, he's been at the farms. He was at Coolmore. Sorry. He's at Coolmore. Was at Coolmore, America. Now he's staying in Japan for a season or two, probably. One of my first horses that really got me, and me and Sarah talked about this whenever we shared notes. One of the horses that had broke my heart, and one of my favorite was Barbaro in 2006. That's really when I started getting into the Derby itself. Barbaro won that year's Derby very impressively. He was actually bred to be more of a horse to run on the turf or the grass. And he showed everybody what he was worth, man. Beautiful race, great. Going into the next leg of the Triple Crown, the Preakness, he comes out of the gate not too far. He ends up there's a breakage in one of those bones in his back hind leg. I don't think it was super major at that time, but, you know, with horses' legs are so sensitive. If that skin breaks or anything, there's infection that gets in right away. He ended up getting what's called laminitis. So he survived, that race. They took him on the equine. The Edgar Prado, the jockey, pulled him up real fast. So that was, thank God for him. He pulled him up. Pony came in to get him. He stood there with him. So that was good that he didn't let him continue running. He knew something was wrong right away, because it wasn't that far out of the starting gate that he pulled him up. Banned him off, and that's when they figured out what was wrong. They put some screws in his leg. See, they fixed it initially. He was fixed. But what happened was laminitis set in, and that's like a thing that you don't cure that in horses. Some horses survived, like after Barbaro sadly passed away a year after that race. He ended up getting laminitis in all of his feet, and at that point it was about quality of life for the horse.
Right.
They told themselves that if he was done fighting, they would let him go, and he just couldn't do it anymore. And there was a mayor not too long after that they said that had the same kind of thing, and she survived it. She ended up having babies. So it just depends. Some horses can do it and some can't. So
Yeah.
laminitis is it has something to do with the foot, the hoof, and the
Hmm.
bone going
Into the yeah.
into the hoof, and it just there's no way to
Well,
heal it.
their horses are so big that like
Mm-hmm.
I I've never seen a three-legged horse, to be honest. I don't know how that
No,
would even
they
work.
they have some that survive and have prostate. It's very rare to have one. And what happens is they shift weight so much
Mhm.
when they have an injured leg, they start shifting, and so that's when it starts moving around to each foot, like hoof.
Yeah.
So he technically had survived, the actual accident and stuff, but secondary stuff is what killed him. But Barbaro was one of my favorite things, and I loved him, and so that was a huge one for me. And then of course we have horses that come in that win it, like Rich Strike.
Mhm.
What was he like? What was he? 90? Let's look. He was 80-1 odds. Sarah, 80-1 means what?
It means you get paid good money if you get him,
Oh,
if
amen. I
he's the
mean,
winner.
they call it what's called a long shot.
Yeah. Like
Not to be confused with the K-pop group.
if you bet $2, then you would get back $160, if that makes sense. Like
Yes.
it's whatever you bet is times whatever their odd ratio is. So like
Mhm.
5 to 1, you'd get $10. So his was big.
It's kind of him and like Mind
Yeah.
That Bird. I don't know if you remember Mind That Bird with
Mm-mm.
Calvin Borel. So Mind That Bird was also these I'm gonna call them rednecks from Texas come up, and they have this little brown horse called Mind That Bird. And Calvin Borel was well known in like Churchill Downs, and he's a Cajun guy, so he couldn't understand. He crazy man. He couldn't understand a word he said, but he's a great rider. He rode Street Sense also to victory in the Derby. So I think he won. I can't remember the order now, but he won on. Let's see here. There's Mom That Bird. So he won. Calvin actually won. I think a few derbies. Am I crazy? Didn't he? No, wait. Street Sense didn't win. I'm thinking of the Breeders' Cup. But Calvin won on Mind That Bird in 2009, and then he won on Super Saver, and I was actually there that year in 2010. So Calvin, oh no, he didn't run on Street Sense. I lied in 2007. So he almost won 4 years in a row. There's a gap. So he won 07, 09, and 10.
That's wild.
So Calvin, he would ride. They called him his name was Borel,
Mhm.
but they called him Borel because his boots would be touching the inside rail on the racetrack. It's how close he was not. He was not afraid of the rail. He
Mhm.
would ride it the whole time, and so him and Mind That Bird, like Mind That Bird was also like some crazy odds, like 80 or 90. It was
Mhm.
something like that. He had some crazy odds. He come up that rail, past everybody. And did he ever really run another good race after that? Not really. Kind of like Rich Strike didn't. So there's some horses that was their one-hit wonder kind of race.
Yeah.
And I think Mind That Bird ended up actually staying I think he actually ended up staying at the Kentucky Museum up there at Derby Museum for a while. He might be back at his owner and trainer's farm in Texas.
Oh, that's cool.
But so it was kind of cool. They drove him from Texas to Kentucky in a horse trailer, their own horse trailer. Just kind of cowboys kind of style. But
yeah.
there's some really cool stories that come up. You have horses like Sovereignty last year,
Mhm.
who were owned by some of I think it's called Dolphin Racing. So that's the prestige horses, like the top of the top.
Yeah.
And then you have horses like Red Strike and Mind That Bird winning. So you can have, it doesn't matter who you are. You put 20 horses in a gate, which never happens in anything else, by the way, in horse racing. 20 horses. You don't know who the hell's going to win. You don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so this is why it's just a very unique race. And a horse can only win these races one time. So the same horse cannot win the race twice. Because
Oh, like they can't enter the
Kentucky
next year.
Derby, which is for the males, has to be 3-year-olds only.
Oh.
Same for the Kentucky Oaks.
Okay.
3-year-old females are fillies only.
Mm.
So they can only run in the Derby and the Oaks one time in their life. They can't come back and run again. So they're 3-year-olds only.
Yeah.
Can fillies run in the Kentucky Derby against the males? They can. But the Derby, several years ago started doing like qualification or qualifying points.
Mhm.
So you have to win certain races throughout the season of like coming into the Derby to get qualifying points to be into the 20 horse field.
Yeah.
And the kind of the same for the Oaks too. So if a filly wanted to run in one of those qualifying races, they would get points to run it in the Derby. One of the most spectacular. We haven't really talked about the oats, the Oaks much, but one of my favorite was Rachel Alexandria.
Ooh.
She won the Kentucky Oaks, and then she ran in the Preakness and beat the boys.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and I think that was the year. No, I have both those up here. Kentucky. She won. God, it's 2009, so that would have been the year of Mind That Bird year.
Oh, okay.
So she came out and beat the boys there, and not only did she's a legendary horse in the racing industry. Not only did she beat the boys there, she ran at Saratoga Racetrack, which is a very beautiful racetrack in New York. Actually, it might be the oldest racetrack in the United States. Saratoga is, or one of the first or second oldest. She ran in a big stakes race up there. I'm trying, if they call it the Midsummer Derby. What is the name of that race? Anyway, she won it and beat the boys, and that's still one of my favorite race calls from Trevor Denman, who was a famous announcer. I think he's retired now, but I think was it Trevor Denman?
Was it like a really close race, or?
Yeah, she's racing against some really top horses still, some males. It's a male and female thing. Males are just built stronger.
Yeah.
And I know the world has different things about that, but that's just physically when you're looking at it, and that's just how it is in races.
Hold on, we froze a second.
Different.
You froze for a second.
I saw you freeze for a second. I think
we're good.
We're good now? Okay.
Yeah.
But this really physically, they're just not built the same, because if you guys have looked at any coming into this race, if you looked at the fillies compared to the colt or the geldings, they're just not built. They're not not as big smaller. As the males, the fillies.
Yeah.
So a little bit, and they're more lanky and they're more like feminine. You can tell the difference when you actually start looking at them. Like, that's a filly for sure. But there's some good Oaks. We've had some, Rags to Riches is one of my favorite mares too. We've had some beautiful horses over the years, fillies that have won this race. Untappable, Rosie Napravnik. She won it twice. She's one of the first female, I think, riders to win the Oaks.
Okay.
And I don't think she's won the Derby. I think she's technically retired from riding, though. I think she retired. Yeah, she did. After a few years ago, she retired, but she ended up having babies and stuff, and her husband trains. But so we've had some really cool just stories. And one of the cool things about the Kentucky Oaks, Sarah, I think she's trying to water. I'm like, Sarah, she's like, chug. Is that the walkover is also for like a breast cancer. So the walkover, I wrote my notes down so I don't forget. So what it is, it's the Survivors Parade. And so the Oaks is kind of like the fashionista, all the cute hats and dresses. I mean, of course, the Derby, you're dressing up. The Oaks is going to be Friday. It's the day before. So the Oaks is Friday. The Derby's every first Saturday in May.
Oh.
It's always been the first Saturday in May. And the Oaks is usually, it's called the Run for the Lilies. So the fillies get a garland of lilies. The winner gets one draped over her.
Is it because it rhymes?
I don't know. I guess it was the boys for the Derby have always gotten, I think it was, how many? I looked this up. It was a lot of roses.
Right.
And usually I think Kroger's been doing it for a long time. They always have one vendor that does it and produces the garland of roses. There's just a lot of history. So the Oaks you have coming over, they all have pink stuff on, so they're all pinked out like this. And they always have a breast cancer survivor parade, which is always great. And then for the Derby, I think one of the biggest things is when they sing "My Old Kentucky Home"
Mm,
as the horses come onto the track.
yeah.
It's just like it's one of those songs, that makes you emotional sometimes. People like the jockeys will talk about, a lot of these jockeys are they come to America. Most of your not all of them, but most of your jockeys are what's the word? They're not they my God. What are they? They come from other countries and they
Yes.
get their citizenship here and they live here and ride, or maybe just work. I don't know, work visas, who knows. But anyway, they still get very emotional too here in the old Kentucky home because this is like a race that everybody wants to win.
Right.
Um, and a lot of people, the horse racing industry has a lot of people from like Central America, South America. Not all of them, but there's a big majority that race in America.
Hmm.
And so a lot of them come from countries that didn't have a great life. It's a little more poverty, and so they come here and they dream big. And a lot of these jockeys and trainers and owners, they end up, just super proud, and they have really great careers and a better life for themselves. So it's really cool that the horse racing industry also brings you to living a better life for yourself than maybe
Yeah.
what you would have had in your other country. And that's a lot of the racetracks is people who have come from usually Central America to South America.
Hmm.
I don't want to just say like this or that. I'm just like that those regions of the because it's a mixed bag, really it is.
Yeah.
You'll see the Pumas trainer and his assistant trainer is his son. I can't remember his name right now, but they come from Venezuela.
And the
And they
puma
came
is a horse.
The Puma is a horse in the Derby. But they also came last year too, so it's like it's not their first time. But 10 years, they've had 5 horses in the Derby, and they've, you know, really built their own name here. And his dad's been in the industry for he's almost his training his whole life. And I actually watched an interview of him talking about that. He's an assistant trainer to his dad.
Yeah.
He was talking about his dad, and they said they call him the Puma actually. So that name came from his dad. They call him the
Yeah.
Puma.
That's
So I thought that was
cute.
really so. There's always some cool stories. Another horse that's running in the Derby called So Happy. I just love it. So Happy.
It's
Um,
yeah.
his trainer actually lost his wife like a few weeks before the actual San Antonio Derby, which So Happy won, ended up
Mhm.
winning. So it was very sudden, and it was just a big win for them. And the owners are really good friends with the trainer too, and so it's more of an emotional trip for them so far. I think I wrote down because So Happy might be one of my favorites. Not only will he have like, a good trainer, good jockey, but he's gonna have I think Matt's his name, the trainer, but his wife will be riding with him that day too. Because it just
Yeah.
they got some cool stories there. That's we always hear really cool stories coming into
Mm.
the race. And I feel like that's gonna be a big one too. Is after a big loss like that, but also then it's like a whiplash, really. You suddenly
Yeah.
lose your life, and then you win the San Diego Derby. You're going to the Kentucky Derby.
Hmm.
It's just that's exactly how life is. You get like bam, 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 bam.
Which is wild.
It's crazy, but
And isn't So Happy, his name is So Happy because his parents are both have one of them has So in the name and the other one
yeah.
has
So
Happy and they just merged it.
the So Happy's sire is Run Happy,
Right.
and his mom's name was So Cunning.
Yes. I knew it was
So
I thought it
so
was like so
happy.
courageous.
Yeah,
So
and I love when they play their names off of stuff like
yeah.
that sometimes. That's we'll talk more about him in a minute once we get deep into the nitty gritty. I don't know. See what else we've got. Oh, even if you've never been, the Derby feels like one of those events you just grow up aware of.
Yeah.
So I was just say most people know kind of what the Derby is, or
Mhm.
maybe have seen it. So we've
Especially in
all.
Kentucky or
Oh
people in
yikes!
like horse racing towns. Yeah.
If you've lived in Kentucky and you've never actually just knew or watched a race, you're not really from here. You're an alien.
Yeah.
You're from outer space,
Yeah.
or you've never had TV or something.
Mhm.
But everybody, we all know it. It's the fastest 2 minutes in sports, as they call it.
Yeah.
It's also someone had tagged, I think, back in the 50s or 60s. It's the Run for the Roses. So there's just a
Yeah.
lot of history there, and we also get a lot of celebrities that come too. It's a big event for celebrities.
Yep.
Human trafficking also. We didn't know
Sadly.
that. That's kind of
Yes.
crazy. And
Yes,
it's
yes.
still that's a, it's also in a
It's one of the three biggest events in the world where human trafficking happens the
and
most.
I'm just trying
Yeah.
to figure out how that happens there because I guess I get it, but it does happen, but like
Mhm.
it just so I actually went to the Derby one year. I had a friend that yeah, I got tickets for it.
Yeah.
And I was young because I was just actually getting ready to graduate high school. I wasn't, I had a dress and I had a hat. I had to go after a softball game. I couldn't miss it. So my
Oh.
sister and brother in law drove. We all went and we drove up there as fast as we could. Go about like 95 miles an hour on the interstate. And we get up there and I actually was able to get into the paddock, which is the saddling like area where they walk before they go out into the track and get the riders up. I was actually kind of in there at that moment. And then once the riders got up, I couldn't hardly get back to my seat for the actual race.
Oh.
I made it back to my seat right before the horses went off in the starting gate, which is it takes a few minutes. That's how bad it was, so packed.
Mhm.
They've redesigned a lot of stuff at Churchill Downs, so it's I think a little bit more flowy. I haven't been, and they've actually it looks really pretty actually how they've redesigned the walking area, the saddling area.
Mhm.
They saddle the horses. Excuse me. Um, but it looks really beautiful. I'm pretty excited. I would love to go again. I think hopefully we'll get sponsored next time we'll go.
Yeah.
It's pretty dresses, everybody's dressed up and it's just a great time. Um Sarah, do you have any rememberings of like your grandpa or your dad or someone hitting it really big in a race or betting? Or like you're like, "Oh my
I
god, we just
think,
won a lot of money."
well, I don't know about a lot, but I remember like one time my dad won like $500. I remember
That's
that.
pretty
It
good.
was really good. Yeah, like because it wasn't even. I think he only bet like 10. Like it was like on a long shot, like a long, long shot. Shout out long shot to
You
the
know, it's a long shot.
um. I can't remember what he said that the probability on that one was, but I mean, I think he literally only bet $10 and he came out about. It must have been a 51, right?
It
Or
has to be
somewhere around
something. Yeah,
there.
it has to be
Yeah.
something super high
Um.
because it's probably bigger than. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
pretty big bet. I am not as much as I know about horse racing. I'm like on the bare minimum. I know enough to get by, but I don't know much about. I never been a better. I like can pick the winner and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. If I'm there in person in
Mhm.
the physical, I can usually see who's looking really good. I'm like, okay, I like this horse. I can read the programs they call them,
Yep.
the racing programs where they have each race in, and you can look up the trainer, the jockey, the pedigree, what kind of races they had the last 5 races, if they've
Mhm.
worked any in the mornings, what their works have been like.
That's
So
kind of like a practice run to like a warm up run
yeah,
to
just
see
a
how
war.
fast they go. Yeah.
You have to keep yourself fit, so
Yeah.
these horses, and that's another thing we're going to talk about going into the actual races for this weekend. Um, they have workouts. They got to warm up. They got to stay
Mhm.
fit, and they got to look good. So you want to go with the horse who's going well over the track, who looks good,
Mhm.
galloping on it, and who's like, hey, are they chill looking or are they just like crazy
Yeah.
looking? Is the rider's holding them back a lot? Is the rider having to ride them and hit them to make them work harder?
Mhm.
So there's a lot of many different things to look at when you're trying to pick a winner.
Right.
Now you don't always get that courtesy. You usually don't get that courtesy for like these big races. You don't always get to see them working. You get the numbers. You'll see like in the programs or on the like on equibase.com and stuff. You can see what they've worked, but you don't actually like you're not there in the physical to see the work.
Right. Yeah.
The time might look really fast and good, but lo and behold, the rider who's riding it that morning was like having to really work for him to get there, and he was struggling, but he made that speed. You don't want to, you don't want to see that. Your horse might have hit that time, but they struggled making it.
Yeah.
So there's so many different there's just so many different things that can play into it. I guess we'll talk about the fields. So we
Okay.
probably should start with the Oaks. So the fillies, the little ladies, the run for the lilies, is going to be on Friday the 1st, May 1st.
Mhm.
Um, there's a full race day. They're gonna, and it's actually their last race of the day, but there's a full card that day. We're gonna have several good looking stakes races. So stakes race is races that are for better horses.
Okay.
Horses that are more better.
And the
So
stakes are
stakes,
better.
yeah, the
Yeah.
stakes are better. Yeah, so stakes races are for horses that are in the top of their field. So we have sprinters, which run shorter distance. We have mid runners like a mile who
Mhm.
are pretty good at that, and then we have like the Derby and the Oaks, kind of mile and a half or a mile and a quarter or whatever.
Yeah.
We have horses that run on the turf better. So we have all those different categories, and they can be better in those fields
Mhm.
of racing. Stakes races, there's some good races that Friday, and then we have some good stakes races before the Derby on that day. And so the Derby is a grade 1, which
Okay.
means that is the cream of the crop. You have to be a really good horse to run in a grade 1, pretty good to run in a grade 2, and pretty decent to run in a grade 3. So those are the biggest cream of the crop races.
And how is that
Uh,
decided by like how fast they do in the work or how
it
they
just if they
won?
can run,
Okay.
if they've been running that good. Now, if
Yeah.
you put a horse in, and sometimes there's also different supplements to running races. You have to pay to go in certain races.
Mhm.
Um, there's a whole different animal to that, and I'm not exactly sure 100% sure how some horses get in certain races. Well, of course, the Derby and the Oaks, they have to win points, and they have to be nominated. I think you have to nominate your horse, and that's this goes into Everybody Wants Your Money. When they're born into the jockey club, and the jockey club is where you register the horse as a baby and you name it. So all that there's money that goes to the jockey club.
Okay.
So are these both? Okay, here we go. So it's the Long Jeans. Long Jeans is that watch that's sponsored by somebody. So it's the Kentucky Oaks. It's a grade 1. It's gonna be going off at 8:40. Damn, Eastern time.
AM or PM?
PM.
Oh wow.
So it's the last race. I don't know why. And then the Derby goes off at like 6:58, which it will be on prime time.
Hmm.
So this race will be run pretty late in the day. Oh my god, my stress will be high all day. I'll be super anxious. I get anxious for these races. So we've got a 14 horse field, and that is the max for the Oaks.
Okay.
We're looking at I know I told Sarah this, they haven't updated it here yet, that bottle of rouge
Mhm.
a bottle of rouge is out. She's gonna run in something else. They've taken her out, so that means the horse that is called the also eligible are on the wait list,
Mhm.
to get in is lovely. I think Lovely Gray is going to dive into the field.
And when they're out, they call it like a scratch, right?
Scratch, yes,
Yeah.
they've been scratched. Now, over the last 2 or 3 years, they've really been trying to work on horses that don't look good. The vets will check them out, and the vets will scratch them
Mhm.
sometimes, which that might not be a good thing because some of these vets are getting sued for scratching some big horses that didn't really have any issues. They thought they did, but they didn't.
Right.
So they are very like picky. They're very watchy on everything. Some horses have quirks, and some horses, everybody, it's like humans, we're all kind of built different. We all have different walks. We all kind of have a different,
Right.
swag to us. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But so far, I haven't heard anything like that happening with any of these horses. Everybody seems to be pretty good. We're talking about this on the Sunday before, so it's 4/26 when we're talking about this. Sarah, has any of the fillies in the Oaks really caught your attention yet, or if betting wise or anything? Have you seen anybody that you really liked?
I think. What was that horse's name? Hold on. I have to go back to our text.
Always a runner.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
I like Always a Runner. The name of it was just like I can't explain why I like it. I just do.
So a lot of these fillies in
Yeah.
this race are by Gun Runner.
Hmm.
There's at least 5, I think, or 4. And he's just a super top stallion right now. He's been burning it up at the breeding shed and the getting it on shed. And he's just been producing a lot of nice horses.
She is like
So
a 10-1 odds, so
yeah,
yeah.
so after watching her last race again, this filly's only ran I think twice. Let me click on her
Hmm.
stats here. She's only ran twice lifetime.
Okay.
So this is a big task coming in for her.
Hmm.
I mean, I think she was. I kind of have a. I've watched her. She has a random like any this field is wide open. Always a runner. 2 lifetime starts. This is a big task
Yeah.
for a filly that's only ran twice in her life. And she's looked great winning that last. She's won both of the starts.
Hmm.
And she won a stakes race out last to be in this race. She won it very green, we call it. And when I say green, very just like a baby. She's not like she's running it. She's like looking around a lot. She's in and out, moving too much. She's not professional enough. It didn't
Yeah.
seem like it was super professional win. So when we say they're kind of green, they're not very professional yet. And so
Hmm.
that's the only thing that's really holding me back about her. But I did like the way she won, and she actually ran faster, I think, that day than the male counterparts did in the stakes race that was Derby points for that same race day she won.
Okay.
So always a runner is a good, I think, betting wise.
Hmm.
I think she might be cool for like a
Like a
long
good
shot,
win.
honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think.
think coming in for well, I think coming in for like second or third, maybe
Hmm.
even. Maybe not winning, but in the money, possibly.
Yeah.
I wasn't super impressed by her work. I really liked her, like you, until
Hmm.
I watched her work, and it was fine.
What about prom queens? Because I think I liked prom queen.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I was kind of checking her out, and she seems to have some potential.
Mm.
Um, Beautiful pedigree. We're talking Quality Road is her daddy. Beautiful stallion.
Mm.
Brad Cox, the trainer. She's got a good number on her right now. Javier Castellano is a jockey. That's pretty nice. She's got 3 starts lifetime.
Okay.
2 wins and 1 second. Pretty good. She ran in, let's see, her last win was at the Gulfstream Park Oaks. She won that pretty well. So that was her first major stakes race though. She's ran all her races lifetime at Gulfstream Park. But she's each time, me and Sarah looked on Equibase at like Equibase's speed figures they give them.
Mhm.
And each one she's went up though. She had a 78 in her first race. She ran second. 83 in the next. She won. And then at the Gulfstream Park Oaks, she was first. And she had a 94. So she's been improving.
Right.
I can see. And she breezed pretty nice at Churchill. I think I was trying to find that work. She did look. I think that's a live one, Sarah. I think that's a good one to keep in mind. Her mommy's by Tappet, who was like one of the top sires in the world for like, I don't know, 10 years. So she's got a really beautiful pedigree. I think she's got a very live chance at doing well. I think it's a very solid pick, honestly.
Okay. What about you? Who do you like to win?
Oh, I'm gonna cry. Listen, y'all, I have just for days now, I've been watching the morning workouts. I've been looking at workouts. I've been watching race replays. The more I watch, the more confused I feel on the inside. I'll give you who I'm really leaning towards. Um, Explora on the inside.
Mhm.
Bob Baffert. Baffert just puts out winners. Baffert's always got horses in big races. He's got nice horses. Flavian Pratt on. He's a good jockey. She's I put here that she's by Blame. Blame is he's got good distance in him. He was a decent racehorse. He beat the legendary Zenyatta in the Breeders' Cup by a nose.
Mm-hmm.
I put she's a consistent queen. First and second in all of her 7 lifetime starts. So that's
okay.
pretty good. I said, decent pedigree, trained by Bob Baffert, and I just said has a great shot. So I really think Explorer is going to have a good shot. She's consistency is not bad to seen horses. Her results, she won the Honeybee Stakes at Oaklawn last time. She's always ran first or second, and she ran second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. That is like the best of the best 2-year-old female horses that run at the end of the year, the Breeders'
Okay.
Cup races, and that was a huge race for her. I don't know if she's come back as good, but she's racing several stakes races. She went from maiden special weight, which is like a baby race,
Mhm.
to straight all stakes races. So she's been there for everything. So I definitely think she has a good shot at running well. I've really liked kind of Counting Stars.
I like that. I like the name of that too,
Yeah,
though.
yeah. Mark Cassie trained. I don't really know the jockey. I've kind of been in and out the racing world for a while, so there's some new people that I don't know as well. But her last win was so nice.
Mm.
She's had some weird inconsistency. She's raced 7 times, so she's well raced. She's not. It's not her first rodeo. She had a really weird, disappointing run in the Martha Washington Stakes at Oaklawn. She ran 8th, then bounced back to the Honeybee and finished second to Explora, I think it was. And then she won the Fantasy, which was after that, in very beautiful running style. She looked really great. And I've liked her in the mornings at Churchill.
Yeah.
So I kind of like her. I don't think she'll be a favorite, but I think she'll be a good one to watch. And then I also like Meaning, who's right there, a California-based horse trained by McCarthy, who trained journalism last year in the Derby.
Oh, yeah.
She just is a really nice horse. She's a gun runner filly. I just put classy filly, nice pedigree. I liked her last win a lot. It looks to be in for a good race.
And Gunrunner is a horse too, right?
Yeah, Gunrunner's the dad.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of Gunrunner babies in here. Zany is kind of the favorite right now. I kind of been looking at her.
Mm.
She's an American Pharaoh baby, trained by Todd Pletcher, who's one of the top trainers in the country for many, 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 many years. I read Ortiz. There's 2 brothers that ride. You'll see 2 Ortizes. Good jockey. I just don't know this is going to be her race or not. She's a nice horse. I just don't know. There's a lot of, like, Percy's Bar won her last race out. She looked good working.
She's like a 6-1 odds, right?
Yeah,
Like
I think
that,
so. She's pretty low, too. Yeah, she won. Brooklyn Blondie actually finished second behind Meaning, but not in a bad. She didn't run bad, really. Just got beat by Meaning that day, but she's come off a Lotley race, too, and those are kind of the horses I'm looking at. Personally, I think this is a wide open race. I really do. I don't think there's really one standout at the moment.
Yeah, because there's a lot of
I
good
think this
horses.
is really anybody's race.
Yeah.
Seriously, like I don't think there's one horse that's super amazing right now. I didn't see one work that really impressed me.
Mhm.
They weren't bad, but there's no one just like, wow, this is it,
Right.
So I think with the Oaks, it's pretty wide open, but we've kind of got our favorites. I think Prom Queen. You mentioned Prom Queen. I was kind of looking at her too. I liked her last win, and I think she looks really good coming in. But I'm still kind of Explora. I think is going to run a good race.
I like the name Explora. I
do
don't
too.
remember seeing
I think
her.
of Dora the Explorer. Dora Explora.
Oh, she's got 6-1 odds too. Zany's got the best odds of winning, but that doesn't mean she'll get it. What about Meaning?
Meaning, that's who I like. Yeah, I like her.
Okay.
That's who I've got. She's the one that's the gun runner filly. I think she's got a good post position too. We didn't really talk about post positions, which is the number they lead out of the starting gate. So the Oaks
like
field
where they're in
get
the fence thing.
yeah, where in the gate
yeah.
where they come out, yeah. And that's a huge thing. That's a big strategy right there, especially in the Derby. You don't want some positions in the Derby one, but this one's still a pretty big field. The one is usually not the favorite spot to come out of. They're right there on the rail. They usually get smashed in, horses trying to come in on the rail when they first get out. So it's not ideal, but it's not terrible in a 14 horse field. I do think Meaning's got a pretty good draw at 5. She's got a nice little position right there. I really think it's anybody's race. I think it's whoever just decides they're going to run a good race that day.
And is it, like, in your opinion, or maybe it's not, maybe it's a fact and not an opinion. I don't know. Is it better to start closer to the rail or further away from the rail?
About mid.
Okay.
Not super far out, not super close in, just somewhere in the sweet spot. A smaller field, like a 10-horse field, it's not as big deal. But when you get past 10, it gets a little harder to position your horse. Because some horses want to run in a certain spot. They want to be on the lead, they want to be mid-pack, or they want to be last, and you can get stuck behind other horses. That's why the jockeys, this is such a hard race for jockeys, the Derby and the Oaks, because just a lot of you might have all the horse in the world, but if you start going and then you have to pull it up real fast, you got someone coming in front of you, that horse loses that momentum. They were going forward, and you have to stop them. They have to go again. Right. They have to rebuild that momentum. That means putting extra work in. So there's just a lot of different things. Yeah. And I don't think it's supposed to rain Friday or Saturday, but it's gonna be cooler. The weather will be cooler, but the track should be pretty nice. And it's not gonna be wet. It's not gonna be muddy. Unless it changes. Kentucky weather, we never know.
Do they dry the dirt tracks like how they dry NASCAR tracks?
No, they can't. They can't dry. They seal them, what they call seal.
Oh, okay.
That way all the water kind of sits on top. That makes sense, and they kind of seal the so the underneath's not super as soggy. They just kind of do this. I don't know how the tractors do it exactly, but they seal the top. Yeah. So all the water's kind of on top, and then it doesn't really get down to underneath. So it's still some grab, but sometimes there's some days that it's just sloppy. They call it. You have wet and then you have sloppy. It doesn't like a nasty sloppy Joe, which is nasty. Oof. Okay, now it's the big one, the Derby.
The Derby.
This is a $5 million race, everybody. This is a Grade 1. This will be race 12. It's the Kentucky Derby presented by Woodford Reserve. And this post time is at 6:57 p.m. Eastern, which you should have this on NBC. Okay. Or it's what it usually airs on. This is another field that I think there's not one super big standout to me. Okay. We've kind of talked a little about So Happy.
And the Puma.
We've talked about him. Renegade and Commandment are going to be the favorites as of right now. Renegade, gosh, he drew the one hole. Not great. Todd Pletcher, Irad Ortiz, trainer is Micropoli, or the owner of Micropoli. He's been in the industry for a little while now. Yeah. He's really cool in the industry. He used to own Vitamin Water and sold it.
Oh, yeah.
Money from that. Yeah. And so he's actually he's even gotten to the point he's bred some of his own winners. And so he's a big proponent of the industry, big happy guy all the time, super cool guy. Renegade his last race was super impressive. He's about one of the top stallions in the world right now, called Into Mischief. That's Sovereignty's daddy who won last year. Renegade is out of a Curlin Mayor. I mean, this is a beautiful pedigree. He won the Oaklawn Derby last time out, which is Oaklawn Park. And I wrote down he looked like he was shot out of a cannon. He beat Silent Tactic like he was standing still. Just flew past all the other horses. It was just a super impressive win. Yeah. And he worked really good. I think today or yesterday on the track, he looked good. So I could see why he's the favorite, and I have him down. I think he's going to run well. What could kill him is his dang post position 1.
Yeah, that's insane.
Commandment he won by Nostrils. He's a tough horse. I would use the word tenacious. We've got several horses in this field that have won by head bobs, by head to head down the stretch. Yeah. Having to fight back, they call it. Commandment looks like he's built like a English bulldog or something. He's built like a baked bean. He's just kind of stout and stubby looking, honestly. And he's also by Into Mischief. Another horse. This you see a lot of the same daddies here. He's trained by Brad Cox. Decent, good trainer. I think he'll be one of the favorites too. They both have been ran really well in their last few races, and
This might
one.
be a silly question. Do you think
Go
the
ahead.
horses know they're related when it's like that? Like that they're
No, unless they probably grew up together,
yeah.
maybe. But no, most of the time they would have no idea. Um, in the wild though, stallions if they take over a herd, they'll kill the baby sometimes because they know it's not theirs though. So I don't know how that
Oh,
works. The stallion, it's kind of
yeah.
crazy. Like I think it's with anything like lions do that too.
Hmm.
Um,
So then I guess this is the way
I,
they recognize it then somehow.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Chief Wallaby has
Mhm.
been he's finished second or third or first, but he ran in the Florida Derby. Commandment won that, barely beating the Puma by a head or like a
Mhm.
nose. But Chief Wallaby was right in between them, so he barely lost by a neck. So Chief Wallaby's been a buzz horse, I guess you could say. That
Yeah.
people are really liking him. He's looked great off the track. He's gonna wear blinkers for the first time.
Mhm.
Blinkers are headgear they wear that are like this, so they can focus on where they're going, so they
Right.
can't look to the side really. So, but this is his first race wearing them, which is always not the preference in a big race
Right.
for a person, but they
Yeah.
want him to stay focused. Um, the 14 horse Patente worked this morning for trainer Bob Baffert.
Mhm.
He got beat by So Happy in the San Diego Derby, but Patente worked a bullet. Looked great. Also by Into Mischief. I told you I wasn't joking. A lot of these horses have the same daddy here.
This is like
Um,
a sibling rivalry race is what it
I
is. Like it's like a
you get a nice stallion breeding some nice mares. This is what you get.
yeah.
Patente he won the stakes race. He actually beat So Happy, and then So Happy beat him in the last one.
Hmm.
This is why I'm struggling because he looks really good, but also the track was playing really fast this morning. Um,
Does that mean like people were running fast on it or like it was just like
Horses
a
were moving pretty quick.
okay.
They were going pretty fast. Track
Okay.
was fast, they call it. Um, One of the long shots that has also been looking really good.
Mhm.
This will be another history maker. Emerging Market, number
Oh.
15. Chad Brown, Flavian
Oh.
Pratt. Chad wouldn't. Chad, I watched Chad talk about. Chad also has always a runner. He wouldn't put this colt in this race, I think, if he didn't think he had some kind of small chance.
Right.
Because he's only raced twice, too. He's kind of like always. They both got set back. So the story was that Emerging Market he was really one of his favorites as a 2-year-old. He was really excited about this horse. And he ended up getting like a weird stall accident and scratched his like leg or something. So they didn't heal that up. And then his whole barn went through like a whole like pneumonia thing. So Emerging Market got pneumonia and that pulled him back again. So he couldn't really race as a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
So it pulled him back a lot from a lot of cool races he could have been running in. So his first race was at Tampa Bay and he won it. It was a maiden special, which is a baby, kind of a young race.
Mm.
And that was in February. And then he went straight into the Louisiana Derby, which is
wow.
a grade 2 race. So,
Yeah.
and he won. He won in a head-to-head battle with Pavlonian. There we go. So I found that very impressive. This horse has got so much potential. He looked great on the track the other day working. He is by Candy Ride, out of a Empire Maker mare.
I was gonna say that's familiar to me.
Candy Ride is the daddy of Gunrunner.
Oh, okay.
Gunrunner has a lot of babies. So Candy Ride has been a super stallion. He's been really good. He's older, but he kind of had a pedigree that wasn't bogged down by some of the same families. Sometimes you get a little bit of inbreeding. So he was a nice, refreshing, stallion to come in here and start
Yeah.
breeding 2 mares. Empire Maker is the daddy of American Pharaoh.
Oh, okay.
All right, I think I'm right. So, Emerging Market's got a lot going for him. Is this a big task for him? Yes. Only 2 starts this year going in the Kentucky Derby. It's huge. It's a huge task.
And I don't know how fast horses heal from pneumonia, but Miso still got a cough, and his pneumonia was a year and 2 months ago. My dog.
Yeah, you don't know how long it takes, but these horses get like the
Yeah.
Chad Brown horse is getting like the best treatment known to man.
Yeah, they're probably getting
Um,
those like breathing masks every day.
oh
Getting
yeah,
there.
they get the
Yeah.
cream of the crop. These good horses. Number 18, Further Ado. He has been on the muscle all week. He just won the Bluegrass at Keeneland to get his qualifying points by like 11 lengths, which is a long, it's a big gap.
Yeah.
He's looked crazy over the track. Like, he's not a very big horse, but he just has a really big stride, and he is by, I think, gun runner. Yep, he's a gun runner, baby. Nice pedigree, good trainer. He's looked, I have to mention him because he's been on the muscle. He's been like just moving over the track the last few days. He still has a lot of energy. Like, after winning that big race last time out, not just like 2.5 weeks ago, you'd think that would take something out of him, but he's just been looking fabulous on the track, so it's really hard to ignore him. Um, he's won at Churchill before when he was younger. When he left Churchill to run, he ran in the Tampa Bay Derby, and he was second to the Puma, but not by a lot, by like a head or something.
Yeah.
And then came back to Keeneland, won again. So, like, can he be consistent? Can he come back from this? He's going to start, like, winning. Is he getting his confidence in? Lots of questions. He's, well raced. He's run a lot. Is he finally kind of, figuring things out? Like, the Equibase gave him a 107. That's like the speed figure. So that's pretty big. That's probably one of the highest. So, but he's run 2 good races at Keeneland, so maybe he just likes the track too. But he's been working great over here at Churchill, so he's super interesting to me. I think he might be in one of the favorites also. Full Effort.
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
Worked yesterday.
He's also 21.
He's the gray.
Yeah.
In the race.
The old man?
Yeah, he's the old man. He looked good on the track.
Oh.
He's the one that won at Turfway Park. And I wasn't gonna think about him. His daddy's been more known for as a sprinter. Like, so is Run Happy's So Happy's daddy, Run Happy, was known as a champion sprinter.
Yeah.
But his bottom half, So Happy's bottom half, has got Blame, who was a longer horse distance. I think Blame actually won the Derby one year. Am I crazy? Hang on, let's go look. No, it's the fillies. But either he won or was second in the Derby one year. Now I'm thinking of Orb. No, Blame beat Zenyatta. That's who I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he definitely can run a classic distance. That's a lot of people's hold off on So Happy because his daddy was a champion sprinter. But So Happy was by Super Saver, who won the Derby. So, and he's also ridden by the oldest jockey in the race,
Right.
and Mike Smith, who is 59. Mike Smith won the Triple Crown on Justify and won with Giacomo many years ago before that. So, yeah, but with Full Effort, I don't know. It's hard. Some of these horses, all these horses kind of look good in the mornings.
Yeah.
That's the problem. These all horses have won something or done something. So it just gets even harder. And then we go into the Japanese horses or the horses from overseas coming in. 6 Speed. He kind of looks like a beast. He's going to be fast.
I mean, his name makes him sound fast.
It's 6 Speed, literally. Brian Hernandez looks like he's riding him. I think if that's correct. And Brian's a good rider, knows the track. I'm sorry if I can't say his last name. The trainer, Samar. I think he's based out of the Middle East and Europe and stuff. So he's got I think he trains for some big Godolphin probably. And so I don't know who 6 Speed is owned by. Let me look. Some of these horses you just don't know. See, 6 Speed has a total Kentucky pedigree.
Yeah.
By not this time of a Medaglia d'Oro mare, which is all Kentucky up and down. He is owned by several people, which I don't know any of them. But he's ran in the Dubai let's see results. He's ran in Dubai. Yeah, he's already raced in Maidan Race Course. So that's in Dubai, and he won. He won the UAE 2000 Guineas, which was in Maidan in January. Then he ran second to another Japanese horse, or a Japanese horse in the race, Wonder Dean.
Oh yeah.
So he just got out finished. He
He's
took the
so.
lead and kept running. So 6 speed's fast. I'm assuming he's gonna go the lead. So I think that's how they said he likes to run. Some horses just want to go the lead
Yeah.
and run. I seen Dan Bourbon. He's the other Japanese horse, bred in Kentucky though by Maxfield of a Tappet mare. Big, beautiful horse. People were just saying
Ooh.
how beautiful he was. I think though he's not totally used. He's won all of his races, but all in Japan against who nobody knows if they're good enough. I heard he's been a little weird. He's running the opposite direction for the first time, I think.
Oh.
So Japanese horse, sometimes they run other way, counterclockwise, clockwise, whatever.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say he spooked a little bit here and there. But he looks beautiful. Wonder Dean could be random. He's the one that beat 6 speed. So he's ran out of Japan. He's not run. Wonder Dean I think he's got a very Japanese pedigree. Yeah, he's by D Majesty out of a Wonder Acute Mare. Don't know any of those horses, so that's very,
Yeah.
very Japanese. The horse below Wonder Dean, the 11, is Incredible. Will Mott's been a long time trainer, and it's his son Riley Mott's horse. Riley Mott's got 2 horses in this race, and Incredible worked really good too. He's iffy, man. He's won, I think, at Churchill before, and he had a good work. And his last race, he really kicked it into gear, but it was a 1-turn race. The Derby's 2 turns. Sometimes that does make a difference for a horse.
Yeah.
So looked really good. I don't know. Maybe it could be a long shot. I don't know. Have anybody else stood out to you besides some of those horses? Albus is also a Riley Mott horse. He won at New York too. His daddy's was a sprinter. He won the Wood Memorial. He's been improving. I just don't know if this is the race for him to win next out.
Did we already talk about Further Ado?
Yes, he was the one that I said has been on the muscle. Little guy, but Johnny V's a great jockey. Brad Cox, trainer. All these trainers, are here for a reason.
Yeah.
Pavlonian, if we talk about Pavlonian, we have to talk, with Emerging Market. Pavlonian lost by just a nose hair to Emerging Market in the Louisiana Derby. He gets hot. So, horses, you can see him lathering up a little bit with sweat.
Yeah.
But I think that's how he is apparently in the mornings, but it always concerns me a little bit. It's been cool mornings, and he's lathering up on the neck, and that's what he does, I think, a lot, but it's still weird.
Yeah.
He's a homebred by their owners. I just think we've talked about mostly the main horses.
Yeah.
Do you have like a top 4 or top 3, or do you have horses that you think you really want to bet on or think about?
Some reason I did like Chief Wallaby, but I think it's just the name. I don't know why.
I mean, he would be a good one to have on your list because he's also just been a pretty good, nice horse and a good trainer.
Liked Renegade a lot.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the Puma just sounds. I don't know. Something about the Puma sounds good to me.
He's a little tenacious horse.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the trainer I was telling you about. They're from Venezuela. They have a cool story. Delgado. There he is. The name. So Essential Quality is by Tappet. And that's who the Puma's daddy is, Essential Quality. He was a pretty good horse. So he's got I'm interested by his bottom half because his mommy is by Declaration of War, who was like a really good turf horse. But could go a distance, so it's not like he couldn't. Declaration of War was by Warfront. Yeah, so he's got a solid bottom. He's really pretty too. I don't know if you've seen the puma. He's a pretty chestnut,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
he
I think
reminds
I,
me of like a lion.
yeah.
He's very pretty, very beautiful colors, just very blonde, like a blonde red. He's a very beautiful horse. I mean, I just think I need something else from him for this race. I
Yeah.
like him. I just don't know if it's gonna be him.
So who do you like?
Um, it's really hard to get past the favorites right
Mhm.
now. Renegade and Commandment have both run some really good races. Sometimes too, when you're thinking about horses, you have to look at how their minds are,
Mhm.
because a lot of it's a lot of mental stuff too. How are they going to handle the crowd? How are they going to handle all those horses? Um, I really like So Happy because I felt like the trainers talked about he's a race of the day horse. Like his works are always just blah. He's not like a. It's funny, he works with blinkers on, but when he races, he knows the difference between race day and work day.
Right.
I think he's a smart horse, which I like.
Mhm.
Will he win this race? Maybe. I'll look forward to seeing him more in the future too.
Yeah.
So with the race he lost, that was his first time going 2 turns. Next race, going the San Anita Derby 2 turns, he figured it out.
Right. Yeah.
And once he hits that, and he had to fight back a little bit. Patente was tough. Patente raced, he beat him. He wasn't backing down, but then he ended up coming about 2 lengths out in front. He started gearing, pulling away from him. Once I think So Happy finds his stride, finds that good movement, he starts kicking it in. So I'm very interested in Mike Smith on him, and he's gonna go out. He's gonna probably go off with a little money. So if you're wanting to put a horse to win for a little money, that has a pretty good chance. Could be So Happy, and he's in a good post position too. That
Yeah.
hole. And I don't know. I just something about him. I like a horse that has a good mind to him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I like.
It's hard for you to pick, isn't it?
So it's really hard. There's some horses that really could just step up.
Yeah.
Run their best race that day. That's how many good horses there are. Further ado, I didn't have him on my paper, but Further Ado has just been like, he's tenacious too. He's just looked great over the track. He's full of energy, but can he relax?
True.
For the race that day. But Tente had a big work, but I don't know. I think he's gonna be on the muscle. I think he's gonna want to be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Renegade. I think the favorites are well due. The favorites. I think Commandment, Renegade are all well due. Incredible. I think Chief Wallaby. A lot of people are watching him. Silent Tactic looks good working. He ran second against Renegade in the Oaklawn, but Renegade flew past him like he was standing still.
Yeah.
But see, Silent Tactic won the stakes race before that at that track. He's a come from behind horse. I just think there's better horses in the race that are going to beat him. If Renegade went past him that fast, like that, like he was standing still, I don't think he's going to win. He might come in for 4th or 5th or 3rd or something. There's some horses I haven't mentioned because I don't think they have a chance. Watch me eat my words. I mean, I don't know. I think we've just got I think this is the year that we're going to have. It's a toss up. There's a lot of horses that could just run their best race.
Yeah.
I think
You can't just good That's horses. Okay. Yeah.
But I think talking about each horse, people can look it up and they can figure out who they like. They might just like the color of the silks. They might like the jockey's name. I don't know. They might just pick him for some random reason and win. Yeah. Who knows? But So Happy's got a lot going for him. He's got the perfect post position. He's got a great jockey. He's got Matt's wife riding with him that day. I just think And he ran. He looked good over in the morning, working over the track. Had a good, strong gallop out. If he doesn't win Saturday, I think he's going to win some races in the future that are going to be really nice. I think he's just growing. I think he's just, I don't know. I just like something about So Happy.
Yeah.
I think, I'm actually not worried about his pedigree. I'm not worried about his dad being a champion sprinter, because after watching him win the San Diego Derby, he did it too easy and he was going away. A horse that was struggling and only could do sprint races would have never kept going away like that.
Yeah.
He's a big, rangy, kind of big boy, and I think he's just gonna have a big long stride going out there and just. And Run Happy though, technically his family, he had like a long distance family, so once again I think he's definitely gonna be able to handle the distance. I don't think that's a problem. It's just, is he good enough compared to like the favorites, like
right?
Renegade and Commandment. Chief people, I keep saying Chief Wallaby. Something does irk me about him, but
like irk you as in like
I got a good way. Like people,
okay.
he has been looking good over the track, and I think he's got a decent post 12's pretty good post position too, right kind of in the middle. Honestly, it's just whoever gets the best trip. That's all. It's really all it is.
Yeah,
it's all it is. Is whoever gets the best trip and just saves enough horse and has enough confidence to do it. That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It really is all it is for the Derby. You can't just, you could have the best horse in the race, but they ain't going to win that day. That's all the time. Like we don't look at Rich Strike, Mind That Bird. Were they the best horse in that race? Probably not. But that day they were.
And sometimes it's good to bet on those just in case.
Yeah, like further ado, like I said, he's been working. Even though he just ran a few weeks ago, he's been working and looking like, a fresh spring chicken on the racetrack. So it's just so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Yep.
I don't know. Do you think which horse? We're gonna add a little K-pop flair to this.
Okay.
Which horse do you think each BTS member would ride in the Derby?
Would ride or bet on?
I think ride. If you could think that was they would like own one or ride one, which ones do you think it would be?
Like based on just name alone, or?
Yeah, I think we'll just go by name alone, and maybe like if you know their personality a little bit.
And just the Derby.
In just the Derby.
Okay. I feel like Golden Tempo would be JK. I have no explanation for that.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yes, that's good. I like that. Well, how about Sugar being the Puma?
I was just thinking that.
It's a cat related thing, so.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I think Pavlovian would be RM.
Yeah. I was thinking that. I was thinking him or Chief or like emerging market for money for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
Pavlov, I think you're right.
Like, because like Pavlov's theory, yeah, like, I don't know. I just see that being something like...
Yeah, I totally get that.
I think Chief...
J-Hope. J-Hope's so happy.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I just thought that.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I don't know why. Chief Wallaby's V to me.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, 100%.
Chief Wallaby would be a Tay horse. What do you think about Jin?
That's what I'm thinking of.
Or Jimin.
Jin seems like he would write a song about being a renegade. Or like a renegade or something. I don't know why.
I can see that. Or even like maybe Incredible for Jin. I don't know.
I know. I thought about that too. That's the two I was looking at. Incredible or Renegade for Jin.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I could see Jimin liking Full Effort, maybe. Or even like Silent Tactic. Or like something that's like very like
Yeah. Wonder Dean.
Yeah, Wonder Dean would be nice. Hi. You are such an attention whore. Yes, you are.
Yeah, I think, that's a pretty good ones. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you could pick a horse in the race that you would want based off name alone, which would it be?
Name alone? Renegade.
Yeah, I'm thinking
That or So Happy, but So Happy is just like a nice.
I think So Happy. So
Mhm.
happy. So happy.
Yeah, it's cute.
That's such a cute name. I don't it's
Or the Puma.
the Puma, and the Puma's pretty cool actually too.
It is.
I don't know. I think we've rambled on a long time, y'all, but this is a little slice of Kentucky for you.
Yeah.
You know, this is a big day for a lot of people. You know, some people's like whole career is like a dream. Like, you know, like relating to K-pop again, like a group's dream is to win an award at an award show or something, or
Right.
win the day song at something. You know, winning the derby for a trainer or a jockey or an owner is a huge dream,
Hmm.
and they can only do it with one horse. You know, because the horse can only run one time in that race. A 3-year-old can only run it one time, so it's a race that's super hard. Even the best jockeys, trainers never win sometimes. So it's really crazy how the Oaks and Derby work sometimes, and it's a lot of dreams. It's a big event for us, and it's you know the cream of the crop of the 3-year-olds this year. So I think it's gonna be a good year. I think the race is gonna be it's very interesting. I'm so happy to see, so
Yeah.
happy. I'm just so happy to see what's gonna happen. Already anxious. We'll have a few more days before the actual races. I'll be posting this on the Wednesday before the races go
Mhm.
out. So there might be a few more scratches that we don't see that happen before the race. Something else might happen. Someone else might draw in.
It's true.
But we never know. Let's hope everybody stays safe and healthy throughout the race and everybody has a good time either way. And I'm pretty excited to see what happens.
And if you're betting, just box your bets.
Yeah.
If you do any type of bet where it's more than one horse, just box them. That way they can come in any order they want to. Like, it's worth the extra dollar too, or however much it ends up costing to do it. Because it from my own experience of betting and like with my dad especially, like he'll pick the right horses, just not the right order almost every single time. So
That's me. That sounds like a lot like me,
yeah,
not knowing what I'm doing. I mean, like a trifecta is about the only thing I can really do is
mhm,
like first, second, third,
right.
honestly.
But they have to come in the right order. Like if you just box it,
Exactly.
they can
Exactly.
flip. Yeah, yeah,
You know what? I think like Sarah's dad said, go with the long shots. Don't go
yeah.
with the favorite. You ain't gonna make any money off the favorite.
That's true.
Pick the long shots. Because this is the Derby, like literally anybody could win. Anybody.
Yeah.
Especially the long shots.
Mm.
I mean, you don't have to pick the longest shot. Pick horses that are like 15 to 20 to 1. Those are
Yeah.
they have a good way to win too, so.
The medium to long shots,
Or I like his name. I'm gonna pick him. Yeah, that
Yes.
also works too.
Yeah. One time I picked Spring Day and they won, and then the next time didn't. But the first time,
That's a
Spring
good
Day
name because I
won.
know that name. Yeah, Spring
Yes.
Day.
BTS. BTS.
Oh, this is a fun episode. This is a lot of research, y'all.
Yeah.
I've spent days fretting over this. Not in a
Yes.
bad way, but like just it's tough. There's just a lot of moving parts and I mean, I'm a Libra at heart too, so me picking something and staying on it is hard for me.
Yeah. And ADHD. You've got both those
Yeah.
fighting against you. Yep.
But we had a great time, I think. I think this is fun.
Yeah,
Sarah's
this
just
is really
like,
fun.
I have told Sarah a wealth of knowledge of horse stuff, and she's just taking it like a champ. So I'm like, this is this, and this is what I think this is.
I
And like, what
I like
does that
learning about things.
mean?
That's exciting to me. I always like learning about things.
It's so fun though. We want to do something for Kentucky. This
Yeah.
is y'all the Kentucky Derby 152 152 years. It's crazy. It's insane.
It is.
It's really crazy to think about. Well, Sarah, anything else before we close this chapter?
I guess not. Just good luck betting, guys. Stay safe and like just be watchful. You gotta watch out. Be careful. But have fun.
Well, exactly. Well, guys, I was Megan.
And I'm Sarah. And this is Kate.
K2K. May the odds be
Hey.
ever in your favor, everybody.
Yeah. Good luck, good luck.
Da, 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 da.
I'm gonna go walk my horse for a second.
Charge!
My dog.
I'm walking this horse. So bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go eat dinner. So bye everybody. We love you. Be safe. Be careful. Bye.
Bye.